Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, and this is
Poppy, and this is
Jason.
and welcome to episode 8, where we're going to be having our very first special guest to talk to us. Jason will introduce himself in a minute, but Mark, I've been thinking a lot since our episode last week about life planning. And I realized one thing I've never quite fit into my daily schedule is yoga. So that's pretty much why I've dragged Jason here. Mark, are you a yoga fan? Tell us.
I'm a yoga fan, but I don't do yoga. But I train, and is this a good thing? And this is important, I think, for Jason. Is that with the prior episode we were talking about sarcopenia and muscle health and stuff, weren't we? Probably about aging. So it's perfectly right for Jason to be on this episode and talk us through yoga and the benefits we can achieve, especially as we're aging. So tell us a bit about the flexibility aspects of yoga, and then perhaps, if you don't mind, Jason, we'll talk about the well-being a bit later on, perhaps. So what's yoga going to do for me as a person? You know, all it's going to do is teach me how to get my leg behind my head? I'm sure it does a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's a great question, Mark. It's funny because there's like that stigma with that idea. And I think, first of all, for your listeners, I would say, let's pull the curtain open and peek behind it and basically understand that there's a lot of stigma out there that you have to be super physically fit. You have to be able to put your leg behind your head, for example. And you have to be, in this prime age. And all of that, honestly, is not true. Yoga is approachable for everyone at any age, quite honestly. No matter, even, it's more beneficial, honestly, the older you progress for your body, also for your mental well-being and emotional well-being as well.
I love this. Yes. So, wait. I want to ask a question next.
Oh, no, go on.
You're getting greedy with our first guest. Jason, I'm really interested because obviously you stood out to me. I love seeing what you're doing on your Instagram. But I wondered, how did you first find yoga then? Is this something you found later in life or something you've always enjoyed? That's
a great question. So, yeah, basically in a nutshell, years ago, I was struggling with chronic health pain, very bad. I went to a doctor, to just a regular provider, and it was very disheartening. In a nutshell, I just laid out my issues, my problems, and the doctor looked at me and was like, well, there's a pill for that, and if we just put you on this pill, it'll help everything. And I walked out of there and I was like, I didn't get the answers that I needed. And so I started just digging into all of my symptoms, everything that I was facing. And in the process, I discovered yoga. And at first I had that stigma: yoga's for women, not for men. So I don't want to do it. And I was wrong, because there's multiple men out there that are doing it. And so I actually started doing yoga for my personal benefit. And when I began to see results, I thought, wow, I would love to share this with other people. And I told myself I was never going to teach yoga. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Next thing you know, I'm doing all these yoga certifications, teacher training, and all of that. And that's how that came about. So great question, though, Dr. Poppy.
I love that. Mark at the
back. So you're talking about the benefits of your yoga that you took on. What sort of benefits did it give you?
Definitely. Great question again. So I would say, let me hone in on some physical benefits first, because majority of individuals who come to yoga, they're always looking for that physical benefit, whether they're, practicing as a woman or a man. First and foremost, you're going to see improved flexibility, right? We know this already, kind of generating the idea of yoga, but it does stretch and it lengthens our muscles in a healthy manner, and it gives us more range of motion, and it leads us away from having stiff bodies or stiff parts of our bodies that maybe we might be fighting. I mentioned increased strength. Now, we're talking about longevity of strength in healthy manners. Some people might think, well, am I going to get the same results if, like, I'm going to the gym and doing a strength training workout? There are some similarities there, but this is more of a long journey of strength building and stability for your physical body. So keeping that in mind, I would also say enhance cardiovascular health. I know that's a big, long, long phrase. Now, I am not a doctor, but I will say that it has proven to lower blood pressure and help within that arena of things. It also helps with hormones and then promoting the relaxation of the body, emotions, mind. So there's multiple benefits here just physically onto itself. And dealing with chronic pain, for example, that was one big thing for me personally.
Go on, Poppy, you'll go, because I've got loads of questions. I'm lining them up.
I feel like you're slowly, hopefully, converting Mark to see the benefits of yoga. One question I have for anyone listening who's thinking of starting yoga, though, what equipment do you need? Is it going to be expensive for someone to start integrating into their daily life?
I love that question. The answer is no. Integrating yoga into your life, a lot of people may think, well, I got to go buy a yoga mat. I got to go sign up at a studio or join a class. The way I started, I didn't have a mat. I started right in my living room on my carpet. The first thing I did was I YouTubed in the YouTube box yoga. And I was at the point where I was so desperate. I didn't care if a woman was teaching me or a man was teaching me. I just wanted to learn. And now, within the past 3 years since I've been doing yoga full time, it's just enhanced so much that you can just Google in YouTube and you will get a plethora of different types of yoga. But I would say move into it gradually. Make sure this is something that you enjoy. Your body's responding to it. And then you can progressively move into places like getting a yoga mat or maybe joining a class in your town or your city. And they also have online training available as well. So if you're a little skittish or uncomfortable about going to maybe a public class, you could always do that as well.
Love that.
So in regards to well-being, Jason, I suppose I try to think of it objectively, I suppose, because you've got your own space, you know, your mind's focused purely on your exercise, or so. How does it benefit well-being for you personally? What does it do for you? I
like that a lot. It's very interesting. No one ever asked me that question. So it's about what can it
do for me?
Yeah. So you talk about well-being. So I would categorize that as far as like mental, emotional as well. We touched a little bit on that physical. For me personally, I discovered I used to be a very reactive individual. I would just react, in the moment, get that email in my inbox, or that text message. We've all been there. As I pursued yoga more, I began to notice that I became less reactive and more responsive. And honestly, I'm not saying all of us could do this, but probably the majority of us would really like to begin to move into that arena when it comes to daily living. I noticed a reduction in my stress levels because yoga activates relaxation in the body physically, as well as in our minds, lowering those stress hormones that I had mentioned. And it really gives us the calm that our bodies are naturally seeking, quite honestly. Which also, to tag onto your question, moves into our mood as well as our mental well-being. So we see a lot of happiness generated a lot of times, reduced anxiety, better emotional stimulation.
So it's like that I suppose it's that line where we're going to blow. And what you're doing is you're creating a buffer through yoga where you're bringing yourself down. So if you are going to get slightly stressed, you've got much more room before you go loopy. So it's a stress reducer. It brings down the cortisol levels, for instance. Just drags you down. Okay, that's really interesting. So I'm going to ask Poppy. Are you going to do it now, Poppy? You're going to do yoga?
Tell you what, I don't actually know any yoga. Maybe Jason, like to end the episode, is this something that me and Mark can try right now and that our listeners could try? Something easy. Don't do like, I know, downward dog, or I don't know what that is. I've heard that. I know that's a thing. Yeah, absolutely. This is really fun. So we're all sitting, right? And this is, I think, something beneficial. We think that, Oh my God, I'm just so excited. It's my first ever yoga. Sorry. We better document this. I'm just like fangirling. Okay, I'm ready. So we get this idea, right? Like immediately you said, please I can't do downward dog or anything. So our mind automatically goes there while we're seated. So if I sit back just a little bit, some simple things can be as simple as taking, for example, if we all do our right arm and just put it straight up. Okay. It's a good thing I showered today. But if you take your left hand and you put it up parallel with your right arm, reach over with your right hand and with your left hand and grab your right wrist. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Just like this. Go ahead and straighten it, but don't lock your elbows. Now we're going to gently.
I really screwed that up.
We're going to gently bend at our waist and just bend to the left just a little bit. And now we're going to go ahead and inhale through the nose and exhale out. Just count to 3, 2, 1. And then let's gently come back to the center. And then let's switch. Let's take our right hand and clasp our left wrist. There you go, back up. And we're going to gently bend to the right at the waist. Yep, there you go. Breathing in, 3, 2, 1. And then breathing out, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And just let those arms come down.
Oh, my arms ache.
Oh, I'm going to start doing this in my online meetings, I reckon. I love that for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
How was it for you, Mark?
Yeah, that's really good. I enjoyed that.
Jason, does that have a cool name?
Flexible.
I feel like I wanted that move to have a cool name.
Yeah. It's just a side stretch. Just keeping it simple today.
Okay, we're calling it.
We got to find a name.
We're calling that the Jason. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna have a decent name for that. It's the Jason technique.
Listeners, if you try the Jason at home, let us know. On that note, Jason, thank you so much for coming and sharing your expertise with us. You've actually been quite excited. I feel like I need to go get some yoga spandex, and because I am that person. And I definitely encourage anyone listening to come and find you on Instagram if they're on there. Can you just tell us quickly where they can find you or any other places they can find you?
Yeah, I'm definitely on Instagram. It's just my full name, Jason, Jason, L, Hotchkiss, Hotchkiss.
And a website or anything else they can check out?
Nope, I don't do anything else. I mean, that's about it. I'm on LinkedIn, but that's like my consulting business and everything. So
come to Instagram, everyone, and even if you're not on Instagram, you can watch as well without needing an account. So
we can put a link up for Jason on our Instagram profile anyway, can't we?
Of course we will. Well, we will make sure that everyone knows to come and check out the great work you're doing. But
we can put the Jason technique. They could do the
Jason technique. Mark, are you feeling, because Mark was not sure about this episode, are you feeling more reassured that yoga can actually be a great way to have a better health span?
I'm feeling a lot better knowing that I don't have BO. There's nothing going on now that's surprise anyone.
Synchronized yoga is that was very cool, guys.
That was great, Jason. Thank you very much, mate.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jason. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you very, very soon. And everyone, thank you so much for listening in. Mark and I will be back again very, very soon with hopefully slightly less giggles and slightly less stretching. Take care,
Jason, it's great to see you.
You as well. Thank you both.
Bye.